extra food is coming from to feed his family. There are thousands of families like that here in Trinidad, but they don't care. Everything is fine, turn around. Imber told us he could see clearly the rain is gone. Uptick, the economy is booming. They are living in a lala fantasy land. They do not go to the ground, but all they care about is friends. I tell you the 4 F's. Friends, family, financiers, and number 4 is who? Faris. But tonight I want to add another one. It's the 4 F's and the Y. And the Y is the young man. The minister of everything and the minister of nothing. I want to add him to the list. So they have no plans. They have no plans. Tonight I will share with you, on the last day I had, is there a book, please? My book. Even the book with the transformation plan. It might be in the car. I want to share with you some of the plans we have for the transformation of our economy, because what I am about trying to get the quality of life of everyone improved. How do we do that? We lift the economy. We transform the economy. We create jobs. That is what I am about. We are about to say, let us get TNT working again. Are you ready to join us in that journey? Let us get TNT working again. And so, this is their 4th year in office. Not a plan. They are a government of announcements. Announcements. I heard Joe Tony tell us tonight. They buy a boat before they build the port. And when they buy the boat, they told us the boat was for the port from Toco to ferry people across the Tobago back and forth. Well, what you do? Wrong side, upside down, reverse gear. They buy the boat. Now they come in to tell you they're building port in Toco. I want to tell you tonight, if any port is to be built in Toco, it will be under the watch of a UNC government. Because many years ago, it was a UNC government that came with the plan for the port, and this same man, this man who now calls himself Prime Minister, he was the one who came to Parliament and shut down the project for the Toco Port. So don't come now to talk about Toco Port. Nothing, as Joe told you. Those of you living here, you know nothing going on. And your 4th year in office, trust me, they have built nothing. They have constructed nothing. They have done nothing. You think in the last election you're getting a port? Don't let them fool you and mamagai you. Thank you. Don't take that bribe here and mamagai. Don't take it up. You know, elections coming. It's pure chain of government of announcements. That's all they're about. And so, what they tell you to do, what is their plan? They say, listen, you know what you have to do? Energy is so important. So they tell you, pray for oil. Their water policy is what? Pray for rain. Their crime plan is pray that the criminals will get a conscience and start to behave good. Look, I believe in the power of prayer. I believe in the power of prayer. But what this country needs now, in addition to divine intervention, is for them to call an election now. Call an election now. Call it now. And so join. I believe in prayer. So let us pray together. And let us pray for this rowdy government to go and to go now. And you know, Mr. Rowley, be careful what you ask for, because you might very well get it. I want you to look at this video, please, if we can put it on track. Just take a few minutes and I will sit. Watch the video.
When you hear Mrs. Persad Bissessar say that they built 100 schools while they were in office, I heard of that nonsense last week again. They built 100 schools. I want to ask the media, to ask Mrs. Persad Bissessar, to give you, the media, a list of the 100 schools that they built when they were in government.
I think that he spoke about on the political platform approximately a week and a half ago, and that is that he wanted us from the opposition to give him the list of schools that we have constructed during our period 2010 to 2015. But it is incumbent for me, as the former Minister of Education, to give the names of the schools because the Honorable Prime Minister has asked for the lists of the schools. Under the management of Mrs. Bissessar as Prime Minister, the Ministry of Education constructed and completed 69 early childhood education centers, 31 primary schools, 6 secondary schools. In addition, additional blocks were built at another secondary school. And for answering the Prime Minister's question, the 31 primary schools completed, and it will include those schools that were opened in 3 of the sitting ministers now in government, including the Prime Minister. The Rosilac Presbyterian Primary School, Riversdale Presbyterian, Tunapuna Government Primary, Balmain Presbyterian, Pinal Rock Road SDMS, Mount Pleasant GPS Soledad Road North Claxton Bay, Palo Seco Government Primary School, Lengua Presbyterian Primary School, Arima New Government Primary School, Tulsa Trace SDMS, Barrackmore Asja Rees Road Barrackmore, St. Barbara Spiritual Shelter Baptist, Echo Village Anglican Primary School, Monkey Tongue Government Primary School, Febo Village Government Primary, Enterprise Government Primary, Union Presbyterian in Hermitage Road, Manzanilla Nareva Government Primary, Lower Komoto Government Primary, Kanhai Presbyterian, Charlieville Presbyterian, Egypt Village Government Primary, and the Minister of Public Administration would remember when we opened her school together at Rosedale RC at 6 Lacoule Street, Laventille Road, East Dry River. Rio Claro Presbyterian, Grand Street, and the Minister of Finance now will also remember when we went up to Paramin and we opened the Paramin RC school in his presence. And we have photographs to demonstrate that. And also the Honorable Prime Minister would remember when our Prime Minister at that time gave him a yellow buttercup when we were opening the Point Kumana RC Belleran Street in Point Kumana. 26. And New Grant Government Primary, Capdeville Government Primary, Pinal Queenam Government Primary, Monroe Road Hindu SDMS, and Durham Village SDMS. Mr. Deputy Speaker, these are the 31 primary schools that we constructed during 2010. The 6 secondary schools completed were the Marabella South, Gopal Lands Marabella, Aranguez North Boundary Road San Juan, Couva West Secondary at Balizier Street in Couva, Princestown East, Matilda Junction, St. Julian Village, Princestown, with the member for Princestown, 5 Rivers Secondary School, which is now ravaged, St. Augustine Secondary. An additional block was completed in Diego Martin North, St. Lucian Road, Diego Martin, with 17 additional classrooms. The Haji construction was paid $60 million by that last administration, and they left the country without doing anything to these early childhood education centers. So we had to inherit many of these contractors who they were supposed to be paying were never paid. So we set about to construct those 24 early childhood education, and amongst them, so out of the 69 early childhood care and education centers we constructed, Aranguez Johnny King Road, Arima New, Aruka Pine Haven, Bamboo in Jafat Street, Bamboo, Ben Lomond, Bonaire at corner of Olivine Avenue and Blue Mussel Street, Brothers, number 73 Garth Road, Williamsville. These are the early childhood education centers. Buonintendo, Hillside Gardens, Carlson Field, Tasker Road, Cashew Gardens, Caroni SDMS, Cora Royal Road, La Goya Road, Cora, Clark Rochard Road, Clark Rochard and Rochard Road, Current Hills, HDC site, Kunjal, number 214 Kunjal Main Road, Kush, the corner of Kunapo, Southern Main Road, the Kush Village, Edinburgh South, HDC site, Egypt Oasis, in Das Trace in Kunopia, Egypt Trace in Endeavour Road, El Dorado ECC, Enterprise in Cedar Road, Faizabad, number 22 Road, Gasparillo ECC, Golconda, Harmony Hall, number 24, Jacob Hill, 25, La Horquetta, South Gladia Street, La Horquetta, La Rofin, Lisa Gardens, Lower Komoto, Madras, Malabar, Pomegranate Avenue, Malabar in corner Lennox Yearwood Expressway, Polybitodio, 7 Flamingo, Maloney in Jacana Avenue, Maloney Gardens, Maloney in Flamingo Boulevard, Maloney, Marabella Light Pole 51, that's number 35, Maracas ECC 36, Mirage Hill 37, Maraval, Montcoco Road, I pass there and I see it all the time, Mendez, Pinal Queenham Road, Milton, corner Temple Street and Judingham Drive, Morva, Mount Hope, Pioneer Drive and Sunshine Avenue, Monroe Road, SDMS, Warren Road, Kunupia, Uropun Gardens, number 44, Palmis, 45, Phoenix Park Road in California, Pleasantville, Prince Albert Street, Pleasantville, Quarry Village, La Brea Trace, Ragunanan Road Enterprise, number 49, Rancho Comado, number 6, South Trace, Rancho Comado 50, Ravine Sab, Londonville, that's in my constituency, Reform Government, ECC Reform, Retrench HDC site, Roystonia in Salakal Drive, Salazar Trace in Salazar, Point Forte, Sonny Ladu, ECC, Southern Gardens, Springvale, ECC in Springvale, St. Ambrose, Anglican, Jackman Trace, Kunupia, St. Anne's, number 8, St. Anne's Gardens, St. Anne's, number 61, St. Augustine, corner Warren and St. John's Road, 62, St. Barbara Spiritual Shouter Baptist, members will remember that, 63, St. Columba Anglican, 64, St. Mary's Village, 60, Union Hall, 66, Valencia in Armadillo Drive, New Valencia Gardens, Valencia, Wallerfield, corner of Churchill Roosevelt Highway and Amazon Drive, Wallerfield, Warrenville TIA, Robert Trace, that's number 68, and number 69, Wellington Road, HDC site, Wellington Road, Davie. So, Mr. Deputy Speaker, in answer to the Prime Minister's question, we have in Parliament today given the list of the 69 early childhood education centers which we constructed and completed, the 31 primary schools which we started and completed, 6 secondary schools which were completed by us, and an additional block. Mr. Speaker, these are the 169 ECC centers, 21 primary schools, secondary schools completed under the Kamla Persad Bissessar administration.
Thank you for your patience. You asked for it, better take it. I think someone else might put it a different way, but just take it. That was in 5 years. This is their 4th year. They have not built one school. Not a single school have they built. So when they come with the announcements, they're not going to get it done. As I said, it's a chain up with elections coming. So they announced recently they're going to build 6,000 houses in fiscal 2020. My good God. In 4 years you didn't build one house. You're now promising you go and build 6,000 houses. I don't believe a word that you say. Election chain up. So in the months coming up, more announcements will come. They will come, just announce we are going to do this, we are going to do that. But if they could not have done it in 4 years, you think you're getting it done in 1 year? Can't get it done. Can't get it done. But you see what we did when we were in government with your help, what we did projects that you could see, you could actually see it. You could touch it. They have spent $200 billion, and there is not one project that you can see or touch or feel to show for $200 billion. And then when the Prime Minister stands on a platform and he talks about $1.4 billion, how much medicine you could get for that, how much schools you could build, knowing that they give nobody medicine and giving nobody no building no schools, he stands there ringing, raising like a red flag. Well, I want to raise a big red flag tonight. A big red flag, and we cover it with yellow when we are done. And I bring this to your attention. Today, the Privy Council delivered a very important judgment with respect to a claim arose in Trinidad and Tobago by one Ravi Balgagan Maharaj against Petrotrin. Petrotrin. They want to say Petrotrin shut down and Petrotrin don't have money. Do you remember how that started? Where that came from? When we were in government, we authorized probes into suspicious corrupt transactions under the PNM. One of those had to do what is known as a gas to liquids project. World GTL, it's called, gas to liquids. Monies that were borrowed under a man named Malcolm Jones. You remember that name? Money borrowed under Malcolm Jones. He was in charge of the Petrotrin. Dealt this country a disastrous blow. And that is what we are still paying for today. We haven't even paid for it yet. But that has been one of the major reasons for the downfall of Petrotrin. Okay? And the closure of Petrotrin. Heard the young ones there saying they want to work Petrotrin. Well, listen, come election day, take your voting finger and vote for the UNC. Tell the Prime Minister, call election, do not sell Petrotrin. Keep it open, call election, and we will find a way to keep that refinery going. You will remember that this government did two major things in relation to Petrotrin when they came into office. The first thing they did was to take that same Malcolm Jones and put him in a cabinet subcommittee known as a Committee on Energy. The same Malcolm Jones, I'll say more about him in a minute. Same Malcolm Jones, who was chairman of Petrotrin at the time when Petrotrin incurred massive cost overruns and project failures. These were the same World GTL project, another project known as gas optimization, and a third project known as ultra-low sulfur diesel project, USLD project. These three projects. Up to today, of course, none of those projects is off the ground. Because what happened? The same Malcolm Jones was responsible for the 1.6 US billion international bonds that are still due today. You know, it's just $1 billion. 11 billion TT dollars, man. These three projects sunk. None got off the ground. None. $11 billion of your taxpayers' money. And you know what Malcolm Jones did? He signed up to guarantee, for Petrotrin to guarantee to pay back this loan now. So all these projects bust, if you want to put it in layman language. They bust. But Petrotrin, through the hand of Malcolm Jones and his board, signed a guarantee. That is why we are owing all that money up to today. They will become due in August. That's a bullet payment they keep saying they have to make. And that was like a bullet into the heart of the people of Trinidad and Tobago, those projects, and Malcolm Jones. So look what happened. The same Malcolm Jones took out more than $3 billion in this failed gas-to-liquid plant. And they took Malcolm Jones when they got into office. First thing, they put him to chair the energy, to sit on the energy subcommittee of the cabinet. There's a common way of putting it, is they put in the cat to watch the butter. When you know the cat likes the butter. you're putting the thief to watch the money. I'm not saying he was a thief, but it's like you're putting the man who was responsible for $11 billion of debt in the same energy committee now to run the energy affairs. The second thing they did, after they put Mr. Jones there, and may his soul rest in peace, by the way, he's now passed on. Same Malcolm Jones, second thing they did is they withdrew the case Petrotrin had filed against Malcolm Jones and the board. Not even 1 month had passed. I said we did the probes, we saw this money was drained out, and so we sued Petrotrin, sued Malcolm Jones and the board responsible for this $11 billion and $3 billion for WGTL. Sued them. Rowley and his crew and his AG Farris gets into government, and Farris strikes again. Strikes again. What did he do? He withdrew the claim against Malcolm Jones. When? You remember when was the election? September 2015. Within 1 month, in October 2015. That was one of the first things they did to withdraw the case against their friend. They withdrew the case. Case collapsed. And the reason they drew the case now gets very interesting, There are a lot of questions. The advice to shut down the Malcolm Jones case, you know who was the lawyer who gave the advice? A name that is all over the country right now. A fellow named Vincent Nelson QC. They plot the guns, What a tangled web we weave when we set out to deceive. But one thing we know is the truth will always come forth. Truth will come in the light. So they went pronto, fast, pulled the case out. They even had to pay Malcolm Jones money now when they withdrew the case. And so Mr. Nelson QC gave the advice to withdraw the case. This is the same Vincent Nelson who, before that, had advised the government, Petrotrin, to sue Malcolm Jones. So the same lawyer who says sue Malcolm Jones, government changed, what happened? He turned around and backtrack, backpedal, and say, withdraw the case. Change his tune. Changed his tune, the same lawyer changed his tune. When that case was filed against Malcolm Jones, we had another very distinguished lawyer who gave the advice. So Nelson gave the advice, good case, go ahead. But another very distinguished lawyer, Mr. Russell Martineau, also advised. So we had two seniors advising. But when government changed, Mr. Nelson backtracked. So Vincent Nelson, in 1 month after the new AG was sworn in, hey, by the way, these fellas so back to front, you know that AG was sworn in twice? Try and remember, from day one, when this government came in, they were back to front. You had to swear in the Prime Minister first. They swore the AG in first. Try and remember. And when they realized, oh my God, imagine the AG should have known that is not the protocol or the law. So they pull him back, and they send Mr. Rowley, they swear Rowley, and they say, Farris, come. Do it a second time. Well, that will be the last time. We must make sure it's the last time that they ever swear. The last time. Yeah. And do you know now, the plot thickens, this thing could make a good Hollywood movie. Or Bollywood, or Nollywood. It could make a very good movie. You know who was the lawyer for Mr. Malcolm Jones? You could take a guess. When Petrotrin sued Malcolm Jones, do you know who was the lawyer? It was none other than the Minister of Everything and the Master of Nothing, Stuart Young. Stuart Young. You see how the plot, the web that was woven. And so it goes. And Vincent Nelson now, government change says, he based his advice on witness statements made by Petrotrin executives during a thing called the World GTL arbitration. These are statements the government didn't want you to see. So Nelson wrote one paragraph and said, no good case again, go ahead with it. And he said he did it on the basis of 2 witness statements. So Mr. Maraj applied to get a copy of these witness statements because we want to see what was so bad inside of those statements that a whole $1 billion case was withdrawn. The government refused to give it, Petrotrin refused to give it. They fought the case all the way, went to the Privy Council, and that's where we are today, the Privy Council judgment about getting these documents, and this is what the Privy Council had to say. So far as concerns possible benefits for the public interest of disclosure of the Batiste and Chantak statements, the board considers, and the board being the Privy Council board, considers that it is arguable that they are of significant weight with a view to securing transparency and accountability in relation to relevant decisions in a number of respects. The court said further that these statements, the disclosure of these statements, would enable the public to be fully informed about those matters and Mr. Jones's involvement in them, so that they could, if appropriate, criticize or oppose the appointment of Mr. Jones to roles within the government. They said further, disclosure of the documents will enable the public to understand and, if appropriate, criticize decisions to bring the civil claim against Mr. Jones. And they said further, there are grounds for thinking that the decision to abandon the case against Mr. Jones may have been influenced by political factors. This is not Kamla. This is a Privy Council in London. There are grounds for thinking that the decision to abandon the claim against Jones may have been influenced by political factors. The Council said further, they noted that the government, through a minister, had predicted the case would be dropped before. Minister said, case going to drop when? Before Winston Nelson gave the advice in October. This is what the Privy Council said. This is in view of comments made by a government minister on the 8th and 9th October 2015 in advance of receipt of the written advice of 11 October 2015 from Mr. Nelson QC, indicating that the claim against Jones was likely to be abandoned. So this minister was a seer man. Before they even got the advice to abandon the case, minister out there saying, case going to be abandoned. And so, the Privy Council took issue with the quality of advice given by Nelson, and they said that there is the appearance of involvement of the Attorney General in this matter. The Attorney General announced that the board of Petrotrin had decided to withdraw the case in February 2016. And then he said it the same day, the advice from October, in February 2016. And in March 1, he told country. So there was great media interest and public interest. Why did you withdraw the case against Malcolm Jones? Why? Why did you do it? And the questions were whether the AG had been involved in taking out one of their friends from the case in the court. And the Privy Council finally ruled in favor of Mr. Rafi Balgobin Maraj, and they have upheld his application to get the documents. So, but he still has to come back to the court down here, so the story unfolds and continues. We will know what are in those statements, whether they were sufficient to withdraw the case against Malcolm Jones, or was it just a case of friend helping friend, PNM. You know, the PNM says they always take care of their own, eh? They only take care of their own when there's the big boys up there, but they're not taking care of their own right here in Sangre Grande or in any part of Trinidad and Tobago. So we shall see how that carries on. I know time is against us, but I did promise you I would talk a little about plans we have for Sangre Grande in particular, and in general. I had planned, this is the economic transformation plan. We have said that we will want to create 50,000 jobs. I have made the point before, we did it once, we have the track record, we can do it again, and these are the plans that we have. For Sangre Grande, Toko Sangre Grande, several projects that we have in mind, which would include encouraging investment in resort, ecotourism, and cultural tourism. We work to revitalize the food production sector, the agricultural sector. We will implement strict regulation and monitoring of the quarry industry. We will improve on social and physical infrastructure to serve the needs of additional housing in the area. Some of this will be done by the HDC and some in public-private partnerships. We will improve the functional efficiency of the Sangre Grande Town Centre. We will engage in medium-intensity industrial development in the Guayco-Sangre Grande area to bring jobs and income to the region. This means that the region will be developed with a community core with a range of services to make the community as self-sufficient as possible. Some services that will support in your area here, Guayco Sangre Grande area, will be banking services, professional offices, retail trades, restaurants, entertainment, market development, and of course, government services. Buildings in the community core, the law will be changed to allow you to go high up, those who want to build and have a small piece of land high up. And there are several other plans which we'll drill down with your team here, your coordinator Joseph Tony and his team, and we trust that we can get Toko Sangre Grande working again, as we will all of Trinidad and Tobago. So these are just some very few plans. There were others I wanted to share, but I see the time. We had a lot of brilliant speakers on tonight, so time did go very fast. So as I close, I want to remind you that we can make a change, we can make a difference. You in Toko Sangre Grande can make a difference to the quality of your life and the life of your children. But the only way you can do it, as one of the speakers told us, you have to make sure you're registered to vote. Because if you don't have a ticket, you have no chance. I saw somebody won the $14 million lottery. Whoever was that person, I forgot to even buy a ticket. So I congratulate them. You must have a ticket to get a chance. So make sure you're registered to vote. The young ones especially, impress on them, go out, register to vote. That's the only way that you can make a difference. I want to thank you for all your support here. I want to give you the assurance, I say it every night, that I will work for you, continue to fight for you until the last breath is gone from my body. I tell you I love you very much. I tell you that half of me belongs to you, the other half I give to you. So all of me belongs to you. And I say, you have had other leaders before me. You will have leaders after me. But guess what? You will never ever have a leader who loves you as much as I do. Thank you, and show me your voting finger. Show me your voting finger. Show me your voting finger.
Show me your voting finger. Vote for UNC, kick BNM out of power. Show me your voting finger. You're rolling with anti-Kamla. Show me your voting finger. Yes, vote for the UNC, my lord. Vote for the UNC. If you love your family, vote for the UNC. Go kickstart the economy. Vote for the UNC. If you love your country, just since Rowley in power, the crime rate get higher. Gas turned to water, now we facing the fire. People balling, people suffering. All over the country, people not working. If you want things get better for your son and your daughter, boy, anti-Kamla is the answer. Yours in the anti for you and your family. Everybody go be irie when you vote for the UNC. Boy, vote for the UNC. If you love your family, vote for the UNC. Go build back the economy. Vote for the UNC. If you love up your country, let me see you. Show me your voting finger. Vote for UNC. Kick me in them.
Bring down the power of love, I say. Bring down the power. The power of love, I say, is the greatest power. Stop hell and damnation. heal a nation is the greatest power. A wind of destruction is blowing over this land. And now the earth is a trembling with man's oppression of man. Now the time come to sit down and rediscover what's life. Show the world the true meaning of real love, power, not strife. Love to heal a nation. Put a hand on the fire and cleanse the wicked right now. All of them who does worship, greed and vanity must bow. Unity is the banner, so come together, I say. And this love is for freedom, it's growing stronger each day.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. I am Sharice Kissoon. We have just come to the end of our Monday night forum. We have heard from our political leader, the Honorable Mrs. Kamla Persad Bissessar. Our political leader has called for an election. Our political leader has been able to tell us the 100 schools that they have built under the People's Partnership Government. 31 primary schools were constructed, 6 secondary schools, and 69 early childhood centers. In total, 106 schools were constructed. We have a leader. We have a leader that cares about us. We have also heard from the leader the ill motives of the People National Movement. We have also heard the corruption. We will be bringing that back to you guys now. We have come to the end of our Monday night forum. We are here in Sangre Grande. Our political leader has called for an election. The People National Movement has challenged the political leader to tell them the schools that they have built, that we have built. The political leader was able to show us the 31 primary schools that were constructed, the 6 secondary schools that were constructed, as well as the 69 early childhood centers that were constructed. In total, 106 schools were constructed in the past 5 years. In this 4 years that the People National Movement has been in power, they have not constructed one single school. We have also heard from the political leader the ill motives and corruption under the PNM regime. Our political leader has also revealed to us her plans for the Toko Sangre Grande constituency. she has revealed that she plans on expanding the investment in the Toko Sangre Grande area, as well as infrastructure, both social development and agricultural development. Here I have with me Sharda Satram. Hi, can you tell me a little bit about yourself? Can you tell me a little bit about yourself?
Hi, my name is Sharda Satram and I am from Cuba.
Okay, can you tell me how you felt about this Monday night forum?
Well, tonight, after hearing the cries of the youth, I felt very despondent, right, about the endeavors because they try to help themselves. Oh my God.
Okay.
I don't need anything.
Okay, tell us how you feel about the leaders' plan. Tell us how you feel about the leaders' plan.
The leaders' plan, right? I am very confident in the leaders' proposed plans and policies for this country, right? I believe that she can take this country forward because she has proven track records from between 2010 and 2015.
Okay, thank you very much. That was Shara Satram from the constituency of Cuba. Hi.
Hi, my name is Devika Subu. I am from the Sangre Grande area, and after seeing this magnificent crowd here tonight, I am confident that Toko Sangre Grande is going to win UNC and bring it home in the next election coming up. And local government will take it all.
Okay, so we have with us now Councillor for the Electoral District of Vega de Oropuch, Councillor Anil Jutiram.
Hi, good night.
Good night, Mr. Jutiram. Tell us what's happening in the Vega de Oropuch area.
Well, Vega de Oropuch is buzzed with activities such as farming and so on. Farmers are very busy planting, and we are at the moment trying to do whatever we have funding for in terms of infrastructure and improvements. We also have the Eastern Division Police revamping a lot of these situations, such as preventing crime and also dealing with the illegal quarrying aspect that has been plaguing our area.
Okay, and what are your thoughts about tonight's Monday night forum and the political leaders' plan for Toko Sangre Grande?
Well, definitely I endorse what the political leaders said tonight. It's a broad-based scenario, and everything is reality in terms of manifestation. We have the byproducts, it's just to tap into it and let it manifest.
Okay, here you have it. You have heard from the man himself, Councillor Anil Jutiram, Councillor for the Vega de Oropuch area. And now we have Ms. Alison Holder. She spoke on the platform tonight. Tell us, what message will you like the audience to take away from your speech tonight?
I would say that there's hope.
There's hope.
There's hope. It has not ended and there's hope. And in life, there's hope.
Okay, and what are your thoughts on the political leaders' plans for Toko Sangre Grande?
I believe that she would have been the first person to actually pay that particular attention to the Toko Sangre Grande district and community, and in that we as a community will be grateful for any development, as so far we have not seen anything, and having a plan on the whole is what we need in Toko Sangre Grande, and we believe that in doing so with the leader, Mrs. Kamla Persad Bissessar, is the best opportunity that we can have as a community.
Okay, there we have it, Mrs. Alison Holder Clement. Thank you so much. We have come to the end of our Monday night forum. We would like you guys to join us next week, May 27th, in Dago Martin for the constituency of Dago Martin's Monday night forum. You have heard it, the people feel hopeless, they feel depressed, the country is in a state of depression, and the only hope we have is with our political leader, Mrs. Kamla Persad Bissessar. So I urge everyone on election day, vote for Mrs. Kamla Persad Bissessar and the United National Congress. Thank you and good night.